Hello everybody, this is Sheldon from ColourArte. Welcome to my channel and another episode of Perspectives in Pouring. And of course we're going to try to go through the A's, E's of fluid art and the whole of PIP, which is the Perspectives in Pouring. So whatever other alphabet you want to come with, that's fine too. But today I'm going to be doing a Deconstructed Bloom. And then follow me will be Britta Clayton from Britt Clayton Designs. It's going to be us two, but we may have a guest on next week. Prior to us will be Leslie Armstead from ColourArte, and she will be also doing a milestone because normally she does a long video, but she actually did a short video this time. But she's on at 12 o'clock. And then you can tune back in at 1 o'clock with Perspectives in Pouring every Saturday. So I'm going to be doing this Deconstructed Bloom, which is here. It dried very well. And you're going to see my process and how I do it. Not just the bloom itself, but how I show you the consistencies I use, and as well as the process and how I come up with my color palette and test it out and all. So there you have it. It's not finished yet, but you can still see some of the shine on this piece. It's really going to come out once it's varnished or resined. I haven't made up my mind which, but this is a very nice piece. I like it. I have not come up with a name for it yet, but let's get over to the canvas and see how I'm going to do this Deconstructed Bloom. So let's go. Hello everybody, this is Sheldon from ColourArte. Welcome to my channel. And I'm going to be doing a Deconstructed Bloom, but I think I want to go through the process of really my thought process behind a lot of my work. So I usually take one of these test tiles. I get them from Home Depot, but it's like a laminate tile that actually is pretty non-stick. So when it dries, I could actually peel the skin off and use it for jewelry or something. But I use this usually to test out everything. So whether I'm doing a dump and swirl, or whether I'm doing a straight pour, Gina DeLuca style with the boulder cells, or if I'm doing a dump and swirl, it doesn't matter. Even a pearl pour, I will test everything out on this. I'll test each of my colors out to make sure they're going to work on a larger scale. Now I'm going to be doing a Deconstructed Bloom, but before I do that, I want to make sure my colors, which I have here, go well together, and I believe they do. I tested out a couple of times, but I want to do this one on camera for you to let you know my process. So here goes. I'm going to go on the other side of the table and work from it that way because the camera's here. I'm reaching around it. Okay, so let's do it this way. So I believe you can still see me there. Good. And there. Good. All right. So I tested out a new cell activator. That is instead of doing US Floetrol thin with water, on this one, I used PVA glue 1-to-1 with Floetrol, and then I used 1 part water in that. And that's what I use, like 1 part to 1 part to 1 part. 1 part glue, 1 part Floetrol, 1 part water. Then I mix it 3-to-1 with my Lukas Krill Oxide Black. I always found to me that I like Lukas Krill Black better than I like the Amsterdam. That's just my personal opinion. So this is what I do. I put a little bit of a blob there to start off. And my consistency I have to say it's a little bit thinner than most. Now I'm gonna show you how I work this. So this is my Harvest Moon. Now I normally don't just drip on top like that, like I'll say a mound on top of a mound like that. I hate that way because you can't really see much. I usually like to go side to side like this. You can see that line going on top. The shape of that line tells me everything. You see how the line looks a little soft and not all crisp and hard on the edges? That's usually where I want it. When it's too crisp and hard on the edges, like a rope, whoa, calm down. Little TV bloopers there. But you see how it's not like a rope. So even when I got the Baltic Amber, that was Harvest Moon primary elements. Even when I got the Baltic Amber, when I go from side to side, I got a nice soft line. It's not a very hard rope looking line that gradually disappears. So that's the way I check my consistency, is again a soft line, not a rope line. So I like to do it that way. And it saves me some time on consistency charts and all that stuff. Let me get these little tops away from here so that I don't drop any more. So I'm going to be going in this order. I tried another order, but I kind of didn't like it. And this color here, this is my titanium white we're putting directly under the cell activator. Sorry about knocking the camera around, guys. It's only me. This color I always make a little bit thinner, just under the cell activator. I don't want a double cell activator because both of them are too thin, but I still like this one a little bit in between the regular colors and the cell activator. So it really helps me as far as the cell activator goes and how it reacts. So let's add some colors, blow it out, and then I'll spin it out. So let me move this canvas that I'm going to be painting on. This is a 12 by 10 by 20, I think. Yeah, I think it's a 10 by 20 canvas. Let me set you aside. And I will go with some of the... Let that sit for a minute. Let some of those cells collect. Let the paint collect. Let the cell activator sink. Let the bottom colors come up. Let those jelly beans pop up. And give that a moment. When you can't see because of the thing. So now it's making some nice little cells. Now mind you, these cells are being made all nice and ringed and jelly bean style on such a close quarters. Now, granted, if I had this on a larger piece like I'm going to be doing, you're going to have more of the lacing coming out from the edge. and more of the pillow showing, which is going to be what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to spin this out just so you can see how the jelly beans spread out. And now you see how those cells glow, and it makes the jelly beans because of the transparent colors and the white pillow. But there you have it. So that's my test palette. And of course you hear my washing machine go off. So that's my test palette. Now to do the actual Deconstructed Bloom with this palette. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay folks, I'm back. And yes, I haven't done one of these in a while, so it always leaves something to be desired when it comes to tilting and stuff like that. Sometimes these things work out easy, sometimes it works out a little bit hard. I do have my straw with me, and I sprayed the back of the canvas, so I got it nice and tight. If you hear that drumming, that means that you have it nice and tight. You want that because you don't want the weight of the paint to sink into the middle of the canvas. So let me pour down my pillow. Whoop, a little goober and dropped off on that. I don't want that to happen. Before I do that, let me set up a place on this counter to dry it, so that set up a place on this counter to dry it, so that it's not sitting long on this spinner, because the spinner, unfortunately, is not level. And so I don't want it to sit any longer than it has to, so that there becomes a problem and it's more distorted than it should be. So I'm going to pull this up here for 2 seconds to make sure that my little cookie cutters are spread out wide enough to set this bad boy on. And it is good. Now I can bring this back to the canvas, and now we can put the pillow back on. All right, so here we go. Kind of go in a little square fashion here. Kind of fill that middle in. My Glidden Premium is slightly thinner because I add a little bit of water to it just for flow. That should be enough paint to blow and to tilt. So I'm going to do this to where I'm going to have a puddle here, a puddle in the middle, and a puddle here. But I want to stagger them because when I tilt them, I don't want them to be over too much to where it's going to be difficult to deconstruct. So deconstructing them, you have to go all the way to the middle of the bloom to destroy it. See and destroy. So. Okay, back. I'm not going to scrape. It's going to start all over again. This time we'll put more paint on. And I'll use the paint that's on the canvas as a flood coat to kind of help all the paint to move. All right, so it's a pretty nice piece. I think it's better than the last one. It's got more color left on it. So I'm going to get you down for a closer look. All right. Okay, folks. This is my final wet result. Let me turn it right side up. Okay. And there you have it. I love the way that turned out in there. Those wiggly cells in there. A few glowing jelly beans in there. How it pulled off the edge here. And then we come to the middle one with all this lovely lacing, just kind of going straight across. Forward to the thin edge. And then the nice little wispy violet that's in there with the green. And then you have all these beautiful cells that's here on this edge. So it's not as full of color as I would have liked, but I still like the color balance on it and the composition balance on it as well. So this is my Deconstructed Bloom for this week. I like the way it turned out. And again, I say happy. Oh, by the way, I want to show you this. That this is on the drying table. You see that there? And you see that on the table. That's why I did not wipe off my drips. I'm just letting you know that because eventually it does stop dripping. And it doesn't keep dripping and dripping and dripping and dripping until it pulls something off your canvas. So the only way you're going to have all these drips pull something off your canvas is if your canvas is not level. That's the only way. But eventually it stops dripping. All right? So again, I say to you folks, happy pouring and good night.